Okay, it's Thursday, June 11th, and the market has, as I predicted, opened down. It's again a second day. And if you did what I suggested you do on Tuesday, is to sell your gains and get ready for the market to go down again, because we were at that 14th day after the riots and the demonstrations, and we're also about 2 weeks out from Memorial Day, when all the intelligent people who believe that this coronavirus is a hoax and a product of the media got out and got shoulder to shoulder and enjoyed themselves or expressed their discontent. Either way, we had to know that the virus was going to raise its head again, and that hospital beds would be filled again, and we'd see more stories about a shortage of beds, of ventilators, of masks, of gloves, of gowns. You had to know that. So I go back to, if you want to know what the market is going to do, just watch the evening news and recognize that there's a big part of the market that is participated in by what they call retail investors. That's you and me. And they're distinguishing us from the professional investors, the people who have the quantum computers working on their side, and recognize that a bunch of you are buying fractional shares through Robinhood, and you're pushing prices crazy. You jump into Nicola, and you buy a bright shiny object, hoping that you will duplicate what happened to those people who bought Amazon back when it sold for $3 a share, and you'll write it up. The likelihood of that happening is really slim and none. So don't get yourself caught up in that. You have an opportunity now. As I told you on Tuesday, uh, take your profits. I'm currently at 45% cash. And then on Wednesday, I told you, watch and buy in the gaps. And watch, if you don't know what that means, you're looking for where a stock gapped up. That is, its day's high was exceeded by the next day's low by a substantial amount, and creating a gap between previous day's high and current day's low. That gap will probably 80% of the time be filled. And it's going to be filled on days like today and probably tomorrow. And you need to go into the stocks you want to buy and fill those gaps. Such as Google, currently selling for about, I think it's 1,465. It has a gap at 1296. Do I think it's going to get down to that gap? Do I think it's going to drop some $200 today? No, I don't. But I need to be aware of it there. And so if it does, I can jump in and buy it. Now, that gives me a proposed or opportunity buying point. McDonald's, on the other hand, got up to something in the neighborhood of $224 a share. It has a gap at 194. It's already covered it this morning. It has another gap at 174. That's what I'm going to pay attention to, because I think we're going to have multiple days of down now as the coronavirus continues to become an issue. A stock that I made a tremendous amount of money on is American Express. I made over 33% on it. Sold it, as I told you, on Tuesday, and it had gotten up to, I believe, about 110. It has a gap at 100. It'll probably cover that, but it has another one at 92, 92.69. That's my target price on it. The other thing then I want to do is watch my favorite stocks, the ones I want to own for the rest of my life. And those are the Microsoft. Microsoft is at got a high of 197, and it will probably cover its gap at 190 70 today. That's a buying opportunity because Microsoft is going to be very involved in cloud computing. I pay Microsoft $99 a year to use their software. That means that they are selling me a digital product. Yeah, they update the product on a regular basis and make my Word a little bit better and make my Excel a little bit better. But I send them a check once a year for $99. That's the businesses I want to be in. I don't want to be in the guy who's building the highway. I want to be in the guy who's running the toll booth and is collecting money every day, every day. We are in a digital economy. Being in the business of making cars and selling them and you owning them for over 100,000 miles or 8 years is not a good business. But Elon Musk is going to lease you a car and then maintain it for you and build a fleet and rent the cars to you, and you will pay them every month. That's the business I want to be in. The monthly check, not the sell me 6 toilets in this house in 1989 and I never buy another one. Why would I want to be in that business? So recognize that our economy is changing, and I'm going to do a video on that explaining that the digital economy is where you want to be as well, and I'll explain to you how you can get into it. So let's look at some other stocks. Apple. Apple is selling for, I think, about 350. It has a gap at 308. Do I think it'll get to it? No, I don't. I really don't. But if it does, I'm going to be a buyer. I'm going to be a buyer because Apple's going to take me into the future. Facebook's at 240. It has a gap at 220 and another one at 197. Could it get there? I don't think so. But if it does, I'm a buyer. I'm adding to my positions. Am I going to buy any or sell any of the big 6 on this downturn? No, I don't care. I'm down, I think, 2% this morning. That's okay because that 2% is losses I'm taking in the stocks that I want to own for the rest of my life. I will go into these other stocks. Disney has a gap at 110. Yes, Monday I sold it at about 127. So if Disney comes down, and I suspect it will, because I suspect that they're going to announce they won't be able to open Disney World like they had planned to, I expect that's going to happen. So if it does, that's another buying opportunity because eventually, and it may be next February, we come up with a vaccine and Disney's going to go back up. I can wait. I've got the money. I don't need the money today, but Disney's not a bright, shiny object. So I can do that. That's the opportunities. That's the way. You cannot compete with the professionals. So don't try. Don't try to get involved against them. Watch the news, see what is going to happen or what has happened, and then connect the dots. You saw all these people shoulder to shoulder walking down the streets of our major cities, and most of them didn't have masks. You saw them at the beach. You saw them in the Ozarks in that swimming pool. So just connect the dots. I thought this morning, this is like in Aurora when whatever his name was on the stage with an AK-47 shooting people in the audience of that movie theater. And the news comes out and says there's people running into the theater. That didn't happen. But if it did, wouldn't you say, that's crazy? Those people are insane. Don't they know what they're doing? Well, you saw them walking down in New York, in Minneapolis, in Chicago, in Washington, D.C. You saw them. Did that make any sense? Then connect the dots. This is going to have consequences. It's going to spread the coronavirus. Okay, the coronavirus is going to spread. Now what's going to happen? The stock market's going to go down. It isn't that difficult, folks. It isn't. It isn't blackjack and it isn't poker. It's reading people's activities and then educating yourself. Read the books that I suggest. That the world is changing faster than you think. The accidental superpower. If you want to be an investor, then understand the world you live in, the demographics of the baby boomers reaching their death, the baby boomers owning 75% of all the wealth in the nation. That's going to transfer. The fact that the technology that we have converging on us right now is equivalent to the technology that affected us over the preceding 100 years. And then we have a nation and nations around the world that are just pumping cash into the economy to finance all of this. What you have to figure out is which companies are going to benefit. And it's not that difficult. Read the books and educate yourself. If you're doing this and you're not educating yourself, you're a damn fool. You've got it available to you. It's all written. You got some of the smartest people in the world who are willing to share their knowledge with you. And if you don't take it, and yet then you take your money out of your pocket and bet on Nikola, it's not that difficult. Go down into the description, buy those books and read them. And then give them to your children and ask them to read them. And then give them to your grandchildren and ask them to read them. And you will create wealth.